Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, the United States Department of Homeland Security granted some additional time to states and territories to become compliant with the Real ID Act. Virgin Islands Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett stated that she worked diligently with the Department of Homeland Security to ensure that the territory received additional time to comply with the federal statute. Stephanie Brown reports.
The United States Department of Homeland Security has granted additional time to states and territories to become compliant with the Real ID Act. The Real ID Act is a statute enacted by the United States Congress on May 11th of 2005. The act pertains to security, authentication, and standards for the issuance of state driver's license and identification cards. Prior to the Real ID Act, driver's licenses were issued by individual states and not by the federal government. The Real ID Act enforces federally mandated standards for all United States driver's license and ID cards. According to the Department of Homeland Security's website, starting January 22, 2018, travelers who do not have a license from a compliant state will be asked to provide alternate acceptable identifications, such as a passport. If the traveler cannot provide an acceptable form of identification, they will not be permitted through the security checkpoint. Virgin Islands Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett released a statement informing the territory that she was pleased that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security granted additional time for the Virgin Islands to become compliant with the Real ID Act. Congresswoman Plaskett stated that her office has had several meetings and has been in contact with DHS to ensure the territory receives additional time to comply. In order to become compliant, the Virgin Islands must provide specific data on its ID cards and provide security features intended to prevent tampering, counterfeiting, or duplication. Stephanie Brown, News 2.
And currently, the Department of Homeland Security is in Phase 4 of the implementation progress of the Real ID Act. Phase 4 applies to the boarding of federally regulated commercial aircrafts. Well, the Committee on Homeland Security, Public Safety and Justice, chaired by Senator Novell Francis Jr., met on Thursday to discuss the results of an analysis revealing the deficiencies of the Virgin Islands Police Department practices. Here's more.
Oftentimes it takes, I've heard the saying that an expert is anyone who's not local. And this is where I think that we spin wheels, because we've said some of these things over and over and over. But I embrace the fact that you all are here, and the community will understand, based on the background that you gave of yourselves independently and now collectively, listening to the assessment. Hopefully now we will now put all our heads together and move forward.
The assessment conducted by T&M Protection Resources reviewed areas in need of improvement operationally and administratively and made recommendations based on those findings. The report, based on data collected about 1 year ago, found that the areas of greatest concern included compensation, lack of a records management system and crime analysis software, staffing, supervision, and leadership, and the consent decree. Public Works Commissioner Gustav James would like to alert the motoring public that the Barren Spot roadway from the Bon Esperance subdivision to the intersection at Route 75, which is the north side road, will be closed to all traffic from January 11th to the 27th between the hours of 8:45 to 4:30 p.m. Only local residents, they say, will be allowed in the area. The closures are necessary to install culvert pipe crossings. Well, have you noticed this sign? Well, the Virgin Islands Police Department say they will not tolerate speeding and reckless driving, particularly along Belgian Road. There you go, where this sign is posted. Speed must be reduced to 10 miles per hour while traveling on Belgian Road, and all vehicles must come to a complete stop at all red lights and stop signs. They remind you speeding is not only against the law, but also wastes gas and is a risky activity. It can hurt you and the drivers around you. Anyone found violating the speed limits and traffic laws will be issued a citation, as VIPD will pay close attention to reckless driving and speeding along the Belgium Road area. Police have released the names of the victim who had experienced a traumatic fall from her hotel room. 58-year-old Robin Stokes. Police say on Monday, January 11th at 11:34 p.m., officers made contact with the victim's husband, who is Larry Stokes, the manager of Point Pleasant. He stated that he and his wife had been in their rented unit at Point Pleasant. He had been watching television in the living room while she was in the unit's bedroom. He'd heard a noise, went to check on his wife. The bathroom door was locked, so he called out to her, forced the door open, and saw his wife's body on the ground. The victim's wife succumbed to the injuries in the approximately 40-foot fall. The incident is still under investigation. District Court Judge Curtis Gomez sentenced Jamoy Kadeem Karaspi, 23, to 48 months in prison for conspiracy to ship firearms with obliterated serial numbers. Judge Gomez also sentenced Karaspi to serve 3 years of supervised release, 600 hours of community service. On September 14, 2015, Karaspi pleaded guilty to conspiracy to ship firearms with obliterated serial numbers, and according to the plea agreement filed with the court, between August 6, 2013 and August 7, 2013, Karaspi conspired with other individuals to mail 2 firearms with obliterated serial numbers from Jacksonville, Florida to St. Thomas. Karaspi is not a federally licensed firearm dealer and is not authorized to possess the firearm in the Virgin Islands. Also, District Court Judge Curtis Gomez sentenced Louis Brown, 44, to 42 months in prison for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. According to the plea agreement, on May 22, 2015, VIPD officers responded to a report that a vehicle was blocking the exit at the Antilles School. Officers observed Brown sitting in the driver's seat. The officer also observed a firearm between the driver's seat. Brown is a convicted felon and cannot legally possess a firearm in the VI. Brown was previously convicted of armed bank robbery and use or possession of a firearm during a crime of violence in Florida in 1992. In other news, just a reminder, Governor Kenneth Mapp will give the State of the Territory address on Monday, January 25th, before a formal session of the legislature at 6:30 p.m. And of course, the following day, Tuesday, January 26th, be sure to tune in for team coverage as we recap the address and get reactions and comments. Meanwhile, after asking President Obama to visit the Virgin Islands before going to Cuba after his State of the Union address, Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett also expressed additional concerns on services that remain available to Virgin Islanders, including comprehensive health care benefits. The Congresswoman also commented on the growing political divide in Congress and how that affects her efforts to make sure the Virgin Islands is not forgotten in the House.
Portions of what he said that I felt that I could not completely stand up with, because we are not recipients of the Affordable Health Care Act in its entirety. And that's something that, you know, we need to continually push for. This has been a really, really difficult Congress. When you talk to those who are veterans up here for 20 years and more, they've said that they've never seen it this way, that the kind of intractability of the majority to move legislation or to move the people's agenda forward, it's been frustrating, not just on the Democrat side, but also on those Republicans who are pragmatists and who are problem solvers and who want to make things happen. I've positioned myself as someone who's willing to work with both sides, with any individual that's willing to be supportive of the Virgin Islands and of people's rights and growth and economic stability. And that's been something that's been difficult to find.
Now, the other big news overseas, there are 3 big winners to last night's record Powerball jackpot. Paul Verkeman is at the California store that sold one of those winning tickets.
The odds were 1 in 292 million.
Your winning Powerball number, good luck to you. It is the number 10 tonight.
Once, twice, 3 times a lady luck, that is. Tickets purchased in 3 states in Wednesday's $1.5 billion Powerball in Chino Hills, California. Munford, Tennessee, and Melbourne Beach, Florida. Since Powerball's last jackpot was claimed in November, there were 19 drawings without a winner, and Powerball players spent an estimated $2.6 billion on tickets. Balbir Atwal, owner of the 7-Eleven franchise in Chino Hills, where the winning ticket was sold, said it was very exciting.
This is the luckiest machine on the planet. So make sure everybody come here to play.
After all, Chino Hills is the land of big league dreams, where they're known for their replica baseball fields. And if you are the big winner, this Powerball exec has some advice.
We're just trying to encourage anyone who might be holding that winning ticket, go get the best lawyer, the best financial planner you can find before you come in to claim that 1/3 of that almost $1.6 billion prize.
And if you missed out on this one, the next Powerball drawing is Saturday with a jackpot of just $40 million. In Chino Hills, I'm Paul Verkaman.
And if you lost the Powerball, be sure to stay tuned for our winning VI lottery numbers. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. Taking a look at the numbers there, we can see everything up. The Dow up 227, NASDAQ 88, S&P 500 31. Coming up on NEWS2, teachers go back to class and aim for an A. What's that all about? Details coming up next. The Virgin Islands Education Department has stated that they knew that test scores would be low throughout the territory. They have reiterated that test scores nationally were low because the Smarter Balanced test is new to parents, teachers, and students. However, the department is taking measures to equip teachers with the skills and knowledge it takes to implement college and career readiness strategies in the classroom. Here's more.
The Virgin Islands Education Department released the 2014-2015 results of the Territory Smarter Balance tests, which are aligned with the college and career readiness standards. Territory-wide, only 17% of students from all grades met or exceeded the English and language arts standards, and only 7% of all students met or exceeded the math standards. According to the Common Core State Standards Initiative's website, the standards were created to ensure that all students graduate from high school with the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in college, career, and life, regardless of where they live. Xiomara Herman, the Professional Development Program Manager at the Virgin Islands Department of Education, spoke further about the 2016 Teachers Action Academy to help teachers apply strategies in their classroom.
Hi, I'm the Professional Development Program Manager for the St. Croix District, and a part of my position is helping teachers be able to teach to the new standards, the College and Career Readiness Standards, which our Smarter Balance tests are based on. This upcoming weekend, our students, our teachers are welcome to partake in a Teachers Academy at the Virgin Islands Cardiac Center, where consultants will be coming to help our teachers learn about new instructional strategies and activities that can be implemented in their classrooms.
On-site registration is available at the Cardiac Center free of charge, and the Academy begins tomorrow, January 15th at 5:30 p.m. on St. Croix. Stephanie Brown, News 2.
Labor Commissioner Catherine Hendry Esquire is pleased to announce the launch of the VI Workforce System GED Prep Connect initiative. The Department of Labor, VINGN, and WTJX have partnered to make this opportunity available to persons interested in pursuing and earning a GED credential. The Department of Labor will issue free practice licenses to the first 25 individuals who sign up for this opportunity. Interested persons must meet certain eligibility requirements. You can contact the VI Department of Labor offices for more information. Here is a reminder from Innovative Cable TV. The channel realignment and launches take place tomorrow, Friday, January 15th. The new lineup will appear in the newspaper tomorrow, so you can view it there, and also available on Innovative's website. According to Innovative officials, it would mean better service and a way to create a structure that can make way for future plans to add more channels. Earlier in the year, Innovative customers who tuned in to Channel 8 expecting to see ABC, saw Ion TV instead. Also, WSVI, which used to carry ABC, did not provide notice of that change. After working with the new ABC affiliate, Innovative was able to get ABC back on Channel 4 on St. Thomas and Channel 56 on St. Croix. About 22 St. Croix secondary school students congregated with 6 of their counterparts from Denmark on Monday, January 11th at the Steeple building in Christiansted for the orientation of the Danish U.S. Virgin Islands transatlantic slave trade collaboration titled Reflections of a Historical Legacy. Local program coordinator Duan Howell said the UNESCO exchange program is in its infancy but has seen 7 different groups of Danish students and looks forward to a VI delegation visiting Denmark. He said the exchange, comprised of teaching and learning, prepares students for global citizenship. There have been some cancellations, as reported, of port calls to St. Croix. One was on Sunday, January 10th, and another on the 13th. And the Department of Tourism acknowledges that all cruise calls, particularly to St. Croix, are of critical importance, and establishing the reasons for the calls not being confirmed is important. They say they want to make it clear that this does not signal a specific challenge or concern with St. Croix as a cruise destination. Governor Mapp met with members of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association in Miami to discuss this and other matters, and has indicated he will schedule meetings with VIPA and WICO boards upon his return. Did you purchase the VI Lottery Crucian Christmas Carnival ticket? Someone is the lucky winner of a $175,000 grand prize, but the excitement, culture, and traditions of the Crucian Christmas Carnival came alive, courtesy of photographer Lee Lashley and featuring Mr. Raymond Galloway, my good friend, who has been playing mass in the Carnival Adults Parade for the past 20 years. Well, with that in mind, here are the winning numbers.
The VI Lottery presents draw results of today's drawing on NEWS2. Here are the top prizes. 5th prize for $20,000, 30710, 30710. 4th prize for $30,000, 14276, 14276. 3rd prize for $40,000, 23858, 23858. 2nd prize for $65,000, 19307, 19307. And the winning ticket number for the grand prize for $175,000 is 03983, 03983. If your ticket wasn't called, keep trying. One of these days, your number could win. The next drawing is January 28th. Play the VI Lottery and imagine the possibilities.
Mark that on your calendar, January 28th. Be sure to stick around. Your NEWS2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.